Today we're looking at Article 2, Section 1 and 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out the worksheet in the description that goes along with this video, available at dailybellringer.com. The United States government is organized into three branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Article 1 of the Constitution established and organized the legislative branch, but now Article 2 will focus on establishing and organizing the executive branch. The executive branch is headed by the President of the United States, and while the legislative branch makes laws, technically the executive branch is supposed to ensure that laws are executed or carried out. The executive branch is made up of the President and his advisors. Article 2, Section 1 establishes the office of the President of the United States. So again, when you think of the executive branch, the President is the head of the branch and has advisors and offices under him that carry out the functions of the executive branch. Within Section 1 of Article 2, there are a few requirements outlined for the presidency. First, in order to be president, you must be at least 35 years old. So as of now, our youngest president ever was John F. Kennedy, who was 43 years old when he was sworn in. And in case you're interested, our oldest president is our current president, President Joe Biden, who was 78 years old when he was sworn into office. Also within Section 1, it states that the president will serve 4-year terms. Initially, there was no limit on how many terms a president could serve. George Washington served 2 terms and basically set the precedent that no one should serve more than that as president. So every president after him followed that rule until we got to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who just kept getting reelected and had 4 terms and died in office in 1945. After that, the 22nd Amendment was added to the Constitution in 1951, limiting the president to only 2 terms in office. Also under Section 1, it establishes that the president will be elected by the Electoral College. So technically, the people do not directly vote for the president. Instead, the people vote for electors to vote for the president, and the number of electors each state receives is determined by their total number of representatives in Congress. If you look at this map here from the 2020 presidential election, you'll see numbers on each state. That number represents the number of electors that state has based on the combined number of representatives in the House of Representatives, which again varies from state to state based on that state's population, and then add the 2 senators that each state gets in the Senate. There is a total of 538 electoral votes on the map, and in order for the candidate to win the Electoral College, they must get at least 270 of those electoral votes. Then lastly, under Section 1, you must be a natural-born citizen, or in other words, you must be born in the United States to become the president. In Article 2, Section 2, this is where we have the powers of the president defined. Here it is established that the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. This basically means the president is the overall commander of all the U.S. military. One interesting thing to note here is that the president is technically a civilian, meaning he is not a member of the armed forces. This is something the founders purposely designed, as they did not want a military commander to simply come in and sweep into power, and furthermore, they wanted the military to be kept in check by having a civilian as the commander. The president has the power to appoint a cabinet, which is the group of top advisors to the president. These are positions such as Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Defense, or Secretary of Education. Also, the president has the authority to appoint judges to the Supreme Court with Senate approval. Now, this is a major power, as you have to remember, Supreme Court members can serve for life. So long after a president is out of office, a judge which they appointed can still be making decisions. The president also has the power to pardon or forgive criminals of their crimes. Then, of course, the president is given the power to approve or veto bills that have been passed by Congress before they become law. If a bill is approved and signed by the president, it becomes law. If it's rejected, then it's called a veto. There is Article 2, Section 1 and 2 that establishes the office of the president, outlines requirements of the presidency, and defines what powers the president has. So with that, Hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.